But then I realized they did not know any better. They did not know the true value of their work in the foreign market. Even though only 20 miles away from one of the most expensive cities in the world, the real value of their work was kept hidden from them. All they knew was the price they were offered by their employers, the Hong Kong tailors. Over time, some found out that they were getting only a quarter compared to the Hong Kong tailor for doing the same exact work, and they feel cheated. What I could not believe was how their bosses could put them in such terrible living and working conditions. You see, all the Hong Kong tailoring workshops are in the cheapest places in all Shenzhen. Here are some that I've come across in the past. If you have purchased a Hong Kong tailored custom suit before, these are the very places they have been made. These are the actual tailors who have made your custom clothes, the clothes on your backs. I'm sorry to inform you that your Hong Kong custom suit was not made in Hong Kong, but actually China. Surely, these places are not what a quality custom suit should be made. I've been in this business for many years, and my father, well over 45 years. There's plenty of money and plenty of orders. The bosses of these workshops can afford to put them in proper clean homes and factories. They always have been able to afford it. Many already own luxury homes in Hong Kong and expensive cars. When I was 12 years old, I saw one of the Hong Kong tailors we used to give work to driving to work in the most expensive BMW at that time, 8 Series. At Albon, we provide clean working and living conditions every day, and it's easy. Our wholesale selling price is similar to Hong Kong tailor prices, so really there is no excuse. On top of low pay, these Chinese tailors, a respectful profession, did not need the additional insult and torture of having to live and work in these horrid, disease-infested places. To take advantage of an exchange rate difference is one thing, but to take advantage and degrade the people who work for you is something else, something much more serious. As little as 1,000 Hong Kong dollars, just over 100 US dollars extra a month is only what was needed. I find it very disturbing as to how easy it was for Hong Kong people to forget they were originally Chinese. They could not have committed this barbarism if they knew they were also Chinese. You cannot do this to your own kind. If you have good business, a lot of orders are making money, paying high salary to your Hong Kong employee, high Hong Kong rents, you can certainly afford to pay the low cost of providing clean living and working conditions in China. The costs are lower. Unfortunately, this problem occurs throughout most industries here. Why then did they do this? It is because they think they are different. Just over 100 years ago, a bunch of Chinese were separated from their family. The English came and a line was drawn. They did great things for Hong Kong, built nice homes, good schools, hospitals, and improved the lives of the Hong Kong people considerably. More importantly, they provided a good education and showed Hong Kong people the proper ways, the international standards we all expect. But in a matter of 2 generations, the people of Hong Kong totally forgot they were originally Chinese. They forgot their original identity. They forgot their original family. They now call themselves Hong Kongers and thought they were better, higher class, special. After all, they had the English ruling them. Now, whenever they saw a Chinese, they thought of them as cheap, low class, worthless. This is what the true feeling the Hong Konger had of the Chinaman, and I know they could never deny it. When the first Chinese tourists were allowed to come to Hong Kong, mid-1990s, you could see what Hong Kong people thought of Chinese. You could see it from their body language, the way they talk to them, or rather, not talk to them. You could see this from how rude the Hong Kong person was to a Chinaman. Hong Kongers learnt the ways of the outside world and made positive changes in Hong Kong, their home. Change was put into law, cleanliness, minimum wage, and the proper international standards all set to law. This is what every Hong Konger expects, their basic human right. In the 1960s, when Hong Kong was still a manufacturing society and business was just picking up, Hong Kong people offered their very lowest prices to the international community so that they could get as much business as possible. In the 1980s, when China's open door policy was enacted, the Hong Kong people were the very first to cross and venture into the mainland. Shenzhen, entirely farmland and only 20 miles away, seemed rather convenient. Hong Kong people easily used the exchange rate as an excuse to pay their own kind, anywhere from half to a quarter or even less of what the Hong Kong man would expect for themselves during the same work. I do not think it's possible to offer someone in your own country, your own kind, half or even a quarter of what is normally expected for performing a certain job. Not that much less, at least. They were okay to do this even though they already stated their bare minimums in the 60s to the outside world, as China was not considered their home. Not only did they see it easy to pay their brothers and sisters a fraction, but they also thought they could do whatever they wanted, as laws and regulations were not as stringent as in Hong Kong, more flexible. They built their factories on farmlands, dumped all their garbage, waste materials, chemicals, wherever they liked, de facto destroying their original home. I've seen garbage piles as high as hills here. They are disguised to blend into the countryside. Shenzhen used to be all lush green farmlands. Today, most of it is a dump. Hong Kong businesses created Shenzhen. Its very existence started with them. Every China person who has come to Shenzhen has come to either work for the Hong Kong people, their companies, to service them, or to pleasure them. Till today, they don't recognize their own brothers and sisters. Instead, they insult Chinese, call them cousins. During the Asian financial crisis in 1997, Hong Kong's economy declined, and the people begged China for help. China was growing stronger and making money. So the China government allowed more of its citizens to visit Hong Kong. The Chinese regard Hong Kong people as the same as them. No difference. So naturally, they would help their brothers and sisters, their family. China tourists brought their spending money, and now Hong Kongers started to love the Chinaman. How quickly their hearts can change, all because of money. Let's forget about the degrading notion of giving someone a quarter of what you expect for yourself for a moment. Is it really necessary to further reduce your cost to the extent that your workers live in misery? Lives as poverty? Especially if you're already making good money? This reduction of standards, of salaries, all out of profit maximizing, out of greed, has in turn hurt China, hurt the land of emperors, the land of kings. In the late 90s, as China continued to open up to the world, the China boss could not pay their workers more, as the low manufacturing and international selling prices were already set in place. Hong Kong businessmen set the prices as low as possible so they could get as many global customers as possible to become rich as quickly as possible. And so for the past 30 years, the land of kings has been suffering with an international reputation of cheap. One should note that all copyright infringement started in Hong Kong. When US manufacturers complained about copyright infringements and the conditions became tougher for the crooks, they quickly moved into China. Copy software, DVDs, handbags, shoes, all started in Hong Kong and gave China the international reputation it has today. In the 1990s, when computers were popular in the rest of the world, China did not have any. Computers in China only started to become popular after the year 2000. Who do you think told him what software, which movies to copy,